Sell everything. Get out of it. Just put it on the market. Sell it right now. Sell your houses. Sell all your stocks. Get out of the stock market right now. Everything's going down. We're going to see the biggest inflation. We're going to see the biggest recession that we've ever seen in 2022. Sell everything right now. This is what we're hearing. I'm hearing it a lot. But I got a question for you. Why are you selling? Why are you selling? I mean, what? Are you selling your house because you're afraid that there's going to be a market crash? There's going to be a housing market crash? Is that why you're selling? Are you selling because you wanted to sell? Is now the right time to sell? When is the best time to sell? Huh? Comment down below. When's the best time to sell? What's the interest rate that you have on your house right now? Do you know that the Federal Reserve raised the interest rates by 0.25% a couple weeks back? Do you know that a 30-year fixed rate mortgage today is about 1.5% higher than it was 8 months ago? Are you guys aware of the facts? I got a question for you guys. If you were to sell your house today, right? You're afraid of a market crash in 2022. You're afraid of a market crash coming in 2023. If you were to sell your house today, how much would you get for it? How much do you think you would get for it? And with that in mind, if you were to sell your house today, what's step 2? Let's say you sell your house for what you think it's worth right now. What are you going to do after that? You going to buy something else? Because whatever you buy is going to be as inflated as what you just sold. Are you going to rent? Because I guarantee rent rates are at a premium right now, no matter where you are in the United States. Unless you decided to sell and move to an area where the cost of living is significantly less expensive than where you're at. That could technically be a pretty good move, assuming that the economy in that vicinity is strong, it's stable, right? That could be a pretty good move. You know, we talk about survival and preparation on this channel, but one of the key factors for survival and preparation is shelter. And statistically, the biggest investment that the average person has is their home, right? So, you know, you got to make sure that your home is taken care of first. In the order of operations, in the order of priorities, it's shelter, it's water, and then it's food, right? So you got to make sure you got shelter, then you got to worry about water, then you worry about food, right? So shelter is a big key. It's a big piece of this equation here. And without shelter, I don't care how much preparation you've done, you ain't got nowhere to store your stuff. So it's vital. I don't think I have to convince anybody how vital shelter is. I'm reading an article here. I'm gonna share it with you guys. And it says here, perfect storm is driving up home prices. A confluence of factors have come together to supercharge home prices, according to one expert. Quote, "We've got the perfect storm right now." This is coming from a financial services CEO, and they're indicating that we've got the pandemic that did the supply chain problems. The pandemic drove people to work from home. Comment down below if you're working from home today. To be honest with you, the pandemic obviously was not a good thing, but it did bring some good things. A lot of people who spent a considerable amount of time driving into the office each and every single day. If you're working an 8-hour shift and you're driving into the office, let's just assume, you don't have an online business where you can work remotely from your house. Let's just say you were working a traditional job, remote work wasn't an option, and you commuted to work like the average American, 45 minutes, an hour a day. Let's just call it an hour for easy math. So you work 8 hours a day. Federal law requires anywhere between a 30 minute and 1 hour break, right? So you're technically working for 9 hours. Even if you only wanted to work 8 hours, by law, you're supposed to be there and hang out for 9 hours. It's going to eat up 9 hours of your day being at work. Most people don't necessarily want to be at work. Even if you like your job, most people look forward to Friday. There's a reason for that. So you're spending 9 hours at work, and the average American is going to commute an hour. So 9 plus 2, because you got to go home, right? So round trip, you got a 2-hour commute. So you're spending 9 plus 2, you're spending 11 hours of your day doing something you probably would rather not do. However, with the pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs, and I understand that. But the pandemic allowed and exposed remote work opportunities to so many millions of Americans. And so while the pandemic was bad, it opened up the door to a lot of new opportunities. And that was one of them. And I've spoken to so many different people in the comments. Comment down below if you're one of them. Remote work changed your perspective on what was important to you. You realize that, you know, busting your butt all day to spend most of your 80% of your waking hours either on your way to work or at work, only to come back and lay your head down or have just enough energy to you know, watch a couple shows before you fell asleep and get back up, you know, and then you get back up in the morning to do the whole thing all over again, right? And then you look forward to Friday. I can't wait to Friday, can't wait to Friday, payday, whatever the heck it is, right? Friday comes, yay, sit in traffic on your way home, now you're back home. You're enjoying the weekend, but during that whole time, some part of you is thinking about this clock counting down. That clock in your mind is the thought of Monday approaching, minute by minute. Sundays are worse because you think to yourself, wow, 15 more hours, I gotta get up and go to work again. You know, it almost kind of ruins your Sunday. And, you know, maybe it's just me, but I talk to a lot of people who feel the same way. Comment down below if this resonates with anybody. But so anyway, long and short of it is, pandemic was bad, but remote work opened the opportunities, opened up the doors to spend more time at home with your family, assuming that you like the people you live with. I happen to love the people I live with, right? So it wasn't all bad, and it allowed people to spend time with their kids. You know, so many parents, they don't have the opportunity to spend the time with their kids that they could if they're working remotely, right? So if you're working remotely, you have more time and opportunity to spend time and see your kids throughout the day. But if you're working 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 now and commuting 2 hours, chances are you saw your kids long enough to send them off to school and long enough to see them to bed, if you're lucky. So what this pandemic did was it made a lot more people say to themselves, hey, you know, remote work is real. I can stay home now. I can spend more time at home. I can cook lunch, breakfast, dinner. I can spend a whole day at home now. I don't have to go out, you know. A lot of people stopped going out to eat as frequently because, you know, they obviously, you know, with the whole pandemic, you had to make do. So it's more people doing things at home, more people, because during the pandemic, I remember going to Home Depot and everybody thought the housing market was going to crash. But I remember going to Home Depot, picking up a couple of light bulbs or miscellaneous items that I needed. And I used to think to myself, wow, I was seeing Home Depot stock crash at the time. And I'm like, why is this stock? Why is Home Depot stock crashing when all these people at the store? All of these people were at Home Depot. Home Depot was packed. Construction workers were filling their trucks. And I realized that something was happening that a lot of people were not aware of, right? So I think that, you know, and obviously there were supply chain issues which led to, you know, a rising cost of lumber, and, you know, there were labor shortages. I get all that, right? But people decided They're going to remodel their houses. They're going to remodel the areas of their house where they spend the most time in. And this is something that a lot of people are not necessarily talking about. Home Depot was packed. Lowe's was packed. And, you know, the thing is you combine that with more people working from home. When you put money in your house, I got contractors that are friends. I got family members that run construction businesses. There's some underlying factors that the market is not talking about right now. One of the factors is the increased perceived value of living in a space that you like. The improved, increased value, increased perceived value of having a home and spending time in that home, right? A lot of people don't realize that this is real. This has happened. A lot of people have said, hey, I want to spend more time at home. And, you know, some companies that didn't offer work from home, remote work opportunities, you're not running an online business necessarily, whatever the case is. A lot of people, this is why they call it the Great Resignation. People got up from their jobs that they were, you know, thinking about trying something new one day, and then this forced them to reevaluate their lives. People took jobs that might have paid them more, might have paid them less, but they offered remote work opportunities. And people want a nicer place to stay. People might want a bigger place to stay, you know? And so that drove up demand for housing. Another thing that drove up demand for housing is not only so you have supply chain issues, right? Well, when builders don't have supplies, they can't manufacture homes at the rate that they used to, right? So that's another factor. They're not making them as fast as people were buying them. But here's another thing. So like I said, big lines at Home Depot, big lines at Lowe's. Those are the only two housing hardware stores that I tend to shop at. But, you know, I'm pretty sure all the other ones were busy too. But here's the thing. If you look at their stocks, I'm gonna look up Home Depot stock right quick. I'm gonna just see what it is today. Let me see, Home Depot stock. What is it today versus what was it back in, let's just say, March 2020 timeframe? Because remember, pandemic kicked off in March 20. All right, so here we go. This is a 5-year chart. Let's see here. We have Home Depot today. That stock is at ticker symbol HD, sitting at $301.89, right? And look at that dividend, 2.52%. I'm gonna get into why I like dividend stocks in another video, but I can't help but look at that. But so anyway, let's have a look at this just right quick. I said right quick. All right, so 2020 is here. Look at this. March 20. Can y'all see that? March 20th was the lowest point during the pandemic for the stock market. Keep that date in mind. Now, look as I go back. Right around February 14th-ish, middle of February, that's when you started hearing some murmurs talking about this new virus coming out back then, right? Nobody realized what it was. Well, actually, some people realized what it was sooner than others. We're not going to go into that in this video. But that's when the conversation started coming out. Once that news became widespread, you can see, look at this, February 28th. That's a nice dip. Then there was a little bit of a rebound, popped up a little bit on March 6th. Then it came crashing down between March 6th and March 20th, okay? Now, if you bought Home Depot stock on March 20th of 2020 for $152, today you would have doubled your money. Today you are sitting at $301.89. And during that 2-year period of time, you were collecting dividends of around $2.52%. But in addition to that, take into consideration that's today. If you had sold on, let's see, just before Christmas of last year, which is no more than 4 months ago, you would have been able to sell it for nearly $400 a share. had you bought it back here at March 20th for 152 bucks per share, that would have been a $250 gain per share of Home Depot. So Home Depot was killing it. Lowe's was killing it, right? In spite of supply chain issues, in spite of this housing market that everybody thought was going to happen, we realized was not going to materialize anytime soon. In fact, we experienced one of the biggest bull markets for real estate that we've ever seen. Now, think about it. Home Depot, their stock went from $152 during the height of the awareness that there was going to be an epidemic or a pandemic to today is $301. But it had peaked at $400, and I think it's going back up. Absolutely. It's not stock market advice. It's not investing advice. There's just some guy wearing 2 hoodies and a hat. Don't ask me why I got all this stuff on. But guys, think about it. Home Depot made record-breaking profits, right? During a time when supplies and inventory was low, right? Supply and inventory was low, but they're still cleaning up. Hang with me, guys. Hang with me, right? Home Depot, right? What do you think they're selling? They're selling stuff for your home, appliances, Wi-Fi mesh kits, like the Nest. What is it? The Nest climate system, the smart home systems. They're selling flooring. Many people were upgrading the flooring in their homes. I'm telling you, I know a lot of people doing construction or in the construction business. Roofing supplies. They were selling shingles and this and that, drywall, insulation. The CARES Act, among many other different government programs, came out offering all sorts of bailouts to businesses. They had PPP loans. They had mortgage assistance for homeowners. They had rental assistance, right? But they were also giving out, drum roll please, they were also giving out all sorts of incentives for green energy, okay? If you guys were paying attention, Tesla stock, man, made a lot of millionaires real fast, okay? Ticker symbol TSLA. Elon Musk, between Elon Musk talking about, managing Tesla or being the CEO and running Tesla, between that and let's not forget about Bitcoin. But I want to touch on what was that cryptocurrency called Dogecoin. It almost reminds me of fidget spinners because it came out of nowhere. No one heard of it, or at least unless you're deep in crypto, it came out of nowhere, looking like this, like on a stock chart, and shot up to the top, came back down fairly quickly. But Elon Musk, he talked a lot about Dogecoin, and that, that ran up and came back down. But the point is this, right? The government, federal government, Jerome Powell, he was running that printer, running that money printer, right? Jerome Powell, between the Trump administration and the Biden administration, there were a number of different green energy related spending packages, tax cuts or tax, what do you call it? There were tons of financial incentives to the tunes of many thousands of dollars, incentivizing people to upgrade the energy efficiencies in their homes, right? Well, where do you think people are going to get this stuff, right? They're going to Home Depot. They're going to Lowe's. They're spending money, right? And so you go and replace all the windows in your house, right? You just walk around your house for a second. Count all the windows in your house, right? Think about all the windows downstairs, all the windows upstairs. If you're in a 2-story house, if you got a basement, count those windows too, right? Now you get all those windows. You're gonna spend anywhere between, I don't even know if you can get windows in as low as $10,000, but let's just say anywhere between $10,000 and $60,000, maybe even as high as $70,000 for windows, depending upon the kind of windows you have, the size of the windows, and how many windows you have. You're going to spend a lot of money. Well, Well, you think that those people who invested that kind of money in windows don't want to get a return on their investment? Okay, you put $50,000 in windows in your house, you're going to want to get your money back, or you're going to want to stay in that house longer because you just upgraded your house, and now it renews how much you like your house. So now for every person who made significant upgrades in their house, they're more than likely going to stay there longer if they made those upgrades because they wanted them rather than they were just trying to get the house ready for sale. So now that's more inventory that won't be listed. But here's another factor that a lot of people are not talking about. For all those people who upgraded the house, the flooring, the roof, the windows in their house, they had painters come in and upgrade the paint to more neutral colors and just spruced it up, you know, maybe even bought new furniture. I ordered furniture, me personally. We bought a new house. Actually, it was an existing house. We didn't buy a new house, but we bought another house, and we went to order furniture. We were waiting 4, 5, 6 months. That was unheard of. So guess what? Everyone was buying furniture. Supply chain issues prevented furniture from being manufactured to the rate to keep up with the demand of the sales. So all of these people were making all these purchases, right? So here's the thing. You think that all of these millions of homeowners who put all of this money into their house, $50,000 on windows, $20,000 on new floors, $10,000, $15,000 getting your house painted, what do you think that's going to do? I know a lot of you guys watch HGTV, right? It is improving the value of your house, right? So not only was there a housing boom, there was a housing renovation boom that no one's talking about. I hate to make you wait to minute 21 and 46 seconds of this video, but this is what nobody's talking about. You gotta look, you gotta be prepared, people. You gotta watch and see what's going on. Like, I know you guys are smart, and I know you guys are seeing this with me, right? You go into these stores and there's lines. There are lines. You know, this is part of why the stock market ran up. Now, I'm not going to say that's the only reason why. You know, obviously there's market manipulation and the Fed purchasing securities, and we'll save that for another video. But the point is that, guys, you know, yeah, housing has absolutely been inflated. It is inflated. There's nothing that you can buy today that is of value that is less today than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, right? So there's inflation. There's a degree of hyperinflation. There's the devaluation of the US dollar, the US currency. So it's all these factors that come into play. There's interest rates being too low for too long, according to many economists. So those factors are at play, right? And a lot of people are like, you know, housing is just a big bubble, right? Okay, I give you that, right? But you also have to take into consideration that there's so many houses today that are now just worth more because of inflation, yes, because of the US currency being worth less, and so it takes more currency to buy the same thing, right? However, many of these properties are intrinsically worth more because many people across the board, look at Home Depot stock. Home Depot has 490,000 employees as of 2022, and Home Depot has, let me just type it in, how many stores does Home Depot have, right? So Home Depot has 2,300 stores. I'm gonna show this to you. I ain't making none of this stuff up. Home Depot has, it says here, today the Home Depot is the world's largest home improvement retailer with approximately 500,000 orange-blooded associates and 2,300 stores in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So I didn't even know that until now. I thought Home Depot was only in the United States. Home Depot is occupied or taking up real estate in United States, Canada, and Mexico, right? So we just saw this company go from $152 a share to $397 a share, down to $301 per share for this stock, right? Now, this is that amount of money, that amount of stock price change within 2 years is equal to and I'll break it down how you can calculate this. I want to show this to you guys because I don't want you guys to, right? That amount of stock movement is equal to, look at this. Okay, so today, all right, so right now we're at $301.89. So based on that price, the market cap is $311 billion. That's how much Home Depot is worth today at the current stock price. Now, back here on March 20th, Home Depot stock was $152.15. This market cap would have been cut in more than half. So what that means is, and I can explain that to you guys in a future, why the market cap would be cut in half and how to calculate exactly how much the market cap would be. And you might not even care about that in this video, so it really doesn't matter that much. But why it matters is the market cap today is $311 billion. When their stock was $152, that was almost exactly half the price. So that means that Home Depot gained $150 billion in market cap in just 2 years. And it was even more than that at the end of last year in December. It's more like $200 billion. $200 billion with a B, right? Like, I don't even think that they spent $200 billion on stimulus checks to millions of Americans. And Home Depot, one company, made that, right? So just think about it. That's a lot of purchasing from consumers. That's a lot of homeowners and construction workers buying product from Home Depot. And where's this product going? Remember, energy doesn't. What do they say in school? Energy is never is neither created nor destroyed. It just transfers. It moves, right? So the same thing with materials, right? You buy over $200 billion worth of materials. Where's it going? It's going in people's houses, right? So, you know, and this is just Home Depot. This doesn't include all sorts of other stores. We didn't talk about Lowe's. We didn't talk about Ace Hardware. We didn't talk about Window World or all these other companies that sell home improvement related materials. So this went into the values of people's houses. So that house that used to be worth $200,000 after it had all these upgrades, it's not the same house anymore. So even beyond inflation, even beyond the U.S. currency being devalued, think about it on a broader scale. If I wonder what the percentage of homeowners did renovations. Comment down below if you're still here. What's the percentage of homeowners that did renovations in 2020 through today, right? So, I mean, and then money was cheap. So a lot of people could finance these upgrades. Even if they have the cash, they were able to finance 0% interest rates. Refinance your house and pull out cash at 2.87%, right? Mortgage rates were super cheap. So a lot of people, they financed these renovations and home improvements and they boosted the values of their houses. So like a lot of people are completely ignoring that. You know, a lot of people upgraded the countertops, bathrooms got remodeled, kitchens got remodeled, decks got expanded or added, basements got finished. So you want to sell everything now? You want to sell your house today? I mean, think about it. Is there really going to be a housing crash? I don't know. I'm not saying that there will or there won't be, but I want to just share these different thoughts that a lot of people aren't talking about, they haven't considered, and the fact that many more people are working from home. Many more people are starting online businesses and they can work wherever the heck they want to be. They don't necessarily want to spend their time around people that they don't necessarily want to hang out with when they can hang out with their family, or save 2 hours a day and have 2 hours a day added to their life for, you know, recreation, rather than wasting 2 hours driving to work, sitting in traffic, burning up gas at $4, $5, $6 a gallon. Not everybody wants to do that. I ain't trying to do that. So anyway, guys, real estate values have to have increased legitimately because of renovations alone on a wide scale basis. So some of the inflation and appreciation of real estate that we've seen over the last 2 years has to be attributed to wide scale renovations, and that needs to be factored in. Anyway, guys, the rant is over. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. Probably should have asked you to hit the like button earlier. If you're still here, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys think. I hope that this was insightful and informative, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.